I'm Andy. I'm going to show you Opstarts, and we're all about forecasting, projections, and scenario analysis and planning. So our customers today typically do this with spreadsheets. Spreadsheets can be brittle and complicated and error-prone, and they're also hard to change if you want to model different ways of your business being than it is today. So anyway, at the hackathon here, I built this importer that takes information from QuickBooks and pulls it in so you can start a plan based on that instead of having to enter all this stuff. And over time, we'll do lots more with QuickBooks to compare to actuals and so forth. I hope you can see that. All right, cool. So let's start. So I'm pulling in some data here. It's going and getting accounts. Maybe I don't want that last account. It's getting in employees. I'll add those employees. You can see it's adding this stuff underneath the transparency. With expenses, I'll just sort of pick some of these that I don't want. And I'm also going to add some money to advertising. When we get to products, some of this is live data, some of it is a little bit dummied up, but the idea is it figures out what your growth rates appear to be, whether they're subscription or non-subscription products, and then tries to dummy that and build a basic plan for you here. Cool. So anyway, we've got these plan items I imported. Here's some, sort of the results of it. I can change the time window. Everything's reactive, so when I make a change, you can see it. All right, so advertising, I want to go in here. So I want to make this a little bit more live. I'm going to have a link to that basic subscription product. So let's say leads cost me $10, so I'll have that go here. I could also put a growth rate on the expense itself, or if I even wanted to go in and change it in Gridland, and I could increase that spend. All right, so let's save this. We can see that has a really nice dramatic effect on my revenue, which is awesome. So I'll go into the growth screen here. I think this is sort of cool. And just looking at that basic product, so I can see here, I've got the organic growth that it saw, so that's driving a lot of my growth, but really it's mostly coming from advertising. And if I had other sources driving leads, then they'd be shown here. You can see I've got a funnel. And then some basic SaaS metrics. There's lots more stuff here. And going back to that main screen, if I'm really like grids because I really like Excel, then there are grids, and you can look at stuff that way. There's also reports, and you can break stuff down by quarters. You can break stuff down by years. You can add and remove things, and she's going to gong me. All right. Anyway, cool. So that's Opstarts.
So what's unique about this that's different from the competing products out there that do similar things?
Well, there's competing products at the really high end. They're targeting, very big enterprise companies. And so we're not them. We're more mid-market and small. And then at the low end, it's either people who do no planning or it's people who do planning with spreadsheets. And spreadsheets are sort of like a prisoner of their own design. Everything is a cell in a formula, and these are objects that have self-awareness and can communicate together in novel ways. So we actually think it's much more powerful.
What have you done here at the hackathon? This looks like you've been building this for a while.
Yeah, so the hackathon, just the importer that takes all of the data from QuickBooks and then builds the basic plan from that. So the other screens were here, although that whole quick start flow is new. And then, over time, it'll be pulling in real time actuals from a QuickBooks so it can compare and you can see sort of plan versus actuals. And
No,
So is it based on Excel? What are all those graphics and all based on?
No, there's no Excel. It's all math we wrote and all software we implemented. So it's not like the man behind the curtain is not a spreadsheet.
Okay.
But it's all based on forecasting. This is what you're doing. It's forecasting.
Yep,
so.
it's all forecasting. So it's not backwards looking like accounting. It's like forwards looking.
And yet it's pulling in this past data to try to be.
To give you a place to start, and then presumably you're going to change it because you have an opinion of what's going to happen in the future.
How do you tend to train the small business accountants to get the full value out of this without being on the phone with them a lot?
Yeah, good question. The goal is to make something that's really easy to use, and then sort of standard help techniques, so wizards, tours that walk you through stuff, some sort of reasonable help site, and then maybe we'll do training. But the vision is certainly not something that requires training. The vision is, way easy to use. Thanks.